the actual for direct material, and I'll abbreviate DM for direct material variances. We have to take the actual quantity that we had purchased and multiply it by the actual price. We're going to get that number. We're going to compare with this number over here, which would be the actual quantity times the standard price we should have paid. That variance is called the direct material price variance. And you could abbreviate. I understand what that means. Saves you a little bit of time. And our standard, the standard, a lot of people fail to understand. The standard quantity allowed based on actual output times the standard price. That is known as the direct material quantity variance. So did we use too much or did we use less materials in finishing the goods? And then, does this require a total spending variance? Total spending variance? That was chapter 9. So what we're doing here in chapter 10 is breaking the total spending variance down into the price and quantity variance. We're drilling down into the situation. So now let's look at problem 1013. We got Kuhn's Company manufactures a number of products. The standards relating to one of these products are shown below, along with actual cost data for May. So here's the standard cost card. It says the standard cost per unit. It doesn't say standard cost per board foot. The material comes in board feet. The standard, we're supposed to have a 1.8 feet at a cost of $3 per foot. So we have 1.8 feet required, and we multiply it by $3 per foot. That gives us $5.40 per unit. Next, our direct labor. The standard is we're supposed to complete each unit in 0.9 hours, so it's a little less than 1 hour at a rate for our direct laborers at $18 an hour. You multiply that, that's $16.20. And then the actual, they give us the actual, don't they? The variable overhead, the standard is the same rate. It's based on direct labor hours, 0.9 hours, and the variable overhead is $5 as standard. So they give us not only the standard, but then the actual cost. And we could see right off the bat, direct material, they actually paid $3.30. Is that a favorable situation you want to be in or unfavorable? We didn't meet budget. That's unfavorable. It's just very simple. About direct labor. Oh, they paid them $17.50 an hour. Well, the rate variance is going to be favorable, but if they take 0.92 hours and the standard's 0.9, we're going to be, our efficiency variance is going to be unfavorable. And then looking at variable overhead, notice the direct laborers, when they're inefficient, it affects the variable overhead rate because the hours, the direct labor hours, that's what they're basing the variable overhead at. All right, so they tell us excess of actual cost over standard cost per unit is 8 cents. Doesn't sound like much, but if we can correct one of those unfavorable variances, it could mean a lot. It could mean the difference between being profitable or unprofitable for the period. So the production superintendent was pleased when he saw this report and commented, This 8 cents excess cost is well within the 2% limit management has set for the acceptable variances. It's obvious that there's not much to worry about with this product. Actual production for the month is 12,000 units. The variable overhead cost is assigned to products on the basis of direct labor hours. So we're applying the overhead based on direct labor hours. We learned there's many different ways to apply the overhead, right? But now we know. So maybe you better circle or highlight that so you don't get things mixed up. There are no beginning or ending inventories of material. So requirement 1, compute the following variances for May. We have to compute the material price and quantity variances. We have to compute the labor rate and efficiency variance and the variable overhead rate and efficiency variances. I'm just going to ask you on the exam to compute all variances, all that are appropriate for direct material. That means I want to see your spending variance if it's appropriate. You got it? All right, then. Let's start. We already set it up. Look, before I even started running the numbers, I already have the names of the variance. If you don't have the name for the variance, you're going to lose points. I have all 3 possible variances for your variance analysis for direct materials. Now we can start plugging in the numbers here. What is the actual quantity? They met the standard 1.8 feet at $3.30 per foot. They didn't meet the cost that we should be buying it at. So we have to look. Another important thing, what was production during the month? 12,000 units. That's the standard. We got to determine the standard because based on the actual output of 12,000 units, what should have been the total material? What should have been the total direct labor hours for 12,000 units? What's the standard there? All right. So in 1, what are we going to do for actual quantity here? What are we going to put down?
We want to take the amount that was produced in units and we want to multiply it by 1.8 feet.
So the quantity, they met the standard quantity, didn't they? The actual board feet for each unit was 1.8. That is the standard, right? So you're right. If we produce 12,000 units, we can multiply the number of units times the actual board feet used, which happens to match our standard. So did you get 21,600, Tyler?
Yep.
So that goes right there where the quantity is. I have it all sketched out. Now it's just a matter of putting in the proper places here. So this 21,600 represents the board feet, right? Or just you could put per foot. The actual price that they paid was $3.30. So if you get it right, it should be easy using a calculator multiplying this out, correct? So does that give us 71,280?
That's what I got.
Yep. That's correct, right? Now, the middle column, we got to have actual quantity. We already figured that in the first column, 21,600 per foot. The standard price, though, the actual was $3.30. The standard is supposed to be $3. So we know we got a 30 cents unfavorable variance, do we not, per board feet? So you take your 21,600 actual quantity times $3. So do you get 64,800?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Looks easy, doesn't it? We already have the name down. We don't have to be fighting like, oh, what's the name of that? We outlined it before we did the problem. We know we have this problem, so we read it over quickly, and everything that what we've done is being asked of us on this particular problem, whatever the exam